Hi, I'm Michelle Sakurka. The New Jersey Business and Industry Association is committed to educating the public about the important issues impacting New Jersey's businesses and economy. That's why we're proud to support the important programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by New Jersey Sharing Network, dedicated to saving lives through organ and tissue donation. NJM Insurance Group. Choose New Jersey. Our mission is attracting companies to the Garden State. MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey. The Turl Fund, supporting right from the start NJ. United Airlines. And by Adler Aphasia Center, helping stroke and brain injury survivors recover their speech. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. And by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Welcome, folks. I'm Steve Adubato. We're coming to you from Camden, New Jersey. We are, in fact, at Cooper Medical School of Rowan University in Camden. We're here with Congressman Donald Norcross, who knows an awful lot about this city. You are born and bred here.
I was born literally right across the street just a few years ago, and I've lived here for the past decade.
Congressman, talk about why we are here, what Camden means to you, and what the future of Camden could be because of where we are and what's about to come.
Not could be, will be.
Talk about it.
Certainly, when we look back at the history of Camden, it was once one of the busiest ports, not only in America, but in the entire world. It was the hub of commerce. Like many cities around this country, they fell under some rather tough times. Some of the major employers left. But what we've seen over the course of the past 10 years is something unique in American history. From each level of government, from the federal to the state, each level of local government, the county, have all come together, understanding that collectively as a team, we can achieve great things. And what you've seen here is just like the building we're sitting in today.
What does this building represent?
Hope and, quite frankly, the future of medicine in America. This was, at the time, the newest medical school in America. In fact, within a short period of time, Rowan not only has one, this new facility, but two, under the Higher Ed Reauthorization Act that we were able to move through. The legislature back in 2012.
When you were in the Senate.
When I was in the Senate. Now it is one of only 3 institutions in this country that have 2 medical schools.
Congressman, talk about the other piece of this, the Joint Health Sciences Center. What is it? Why does it matter so much? Not just to Camden, not just to the state, but to the country.
It's a great question. So why are we here? Why is this uniquely different? Well, you have to look at the history of the state of New Jersey. There are 27 institutions of higher learning, 4 years or better in the state. 22 of those are up north. The fact of the matter is, South Jersey only had 15% of the seats that were available for students, yet we have 30% of the population. We knew something was off. So that great brain drain that we heard about was actually happening.
Best and brightest students?
Yeah, they're leaving, going across the river. We knew that we needed affordable, accessible, quality education right here in South Jersey. So the higher ed reorganization that we were able to accomplish with the help of, obviously, Steve Sweeney, myself, and the governor, was tried twice before and failed miserably for a variety of reasons. Everybody wanted their home turf. We were able to convince our colleagues, both in the Senate and the Assembly, that this was a great move forward. So what happened is we made sure that Rowan University would be a research university.
Right.
That Rutgers and Rowan would come together.
Rutgers-Camden.
Rutgers-Camden.
The collaboration between Rowan and Rutgers is key to this.
To make sure they had their own board, because Rutgers is such a large institution, many people suggested they tended to forget about Camden. And if you look at the numbers, it tends to bear that out. So what we created is its own board of directors who had Camden Rutgers in mind, and then certainly coming together as a joint board to create what we see here in our background.
Yeah, what are we? Behind us, talk about that.
That's
we'll
new
get a shot of this. What are we talking about?
The new Joint Sciences Building, which is a great collaboration, really doesn't happen much. We have Rutgers, Camden, Rowan University, Camden County College, Cornell Institute, a number of folks coming together to make sure that we have the best and brightest right here in the city of Camden. Not just for the city of Camden, but for the U.S. as a whole, and quite frankly, the country.
Congressman, what could this mean? What will it mean to the residents of Camden in terms of the quality of the medical health care services they need? Not to mention the research piece.
Well, let's look at what Rowan has been able to put together along with Rutgers Camden. We have the Stratford campus of the medical school. We have the medical school right here in the city of Camden. Then we have the main branch down in Glassboro. I like to refer to that to in the future as that great research triangle. What does that mean? Just 2 years ago, one of the first graduating class from this medical school, a pair of twins from the city of Camden who grew up here, who went to school here, now graduated medical school and are going to help those not only here in the Camden, but the entire area. That's hope.
Is that personal for you?
Oh, absolutely. My father, almost 35 years ago, was at a bill signing with then Governor Byrne, myself in a leisure suit, if it gives you a clue how long ago, talking about medical facility down here in South Jersey that would serve not only the students of South Jersey, but of the region.
You know, you think about it, I'm born and raised in Newark, a lot going on up there, but I was saying before we get on the air that we don't know enough about Camden. We think we know because we see some of the media reports talking about a whole range of challenges and problems the city has. But the hope and promise, and we're not going to turn this into a commercial for Camden, but the hope and promise for Camden around the whole piece of the education, research, the revitalization just coming in here. Not that you see the name Cooper all over, but well beyond that, you see hope here. And I'm thinking, how much of that how much of the educational institutions are key to that?
Well, let's start out with what Camden used to be. Out of all the school buildings in the entire state of New Jersey, we had 23 of the worst performing schools.
Right.
There's not hope there.
Talking about public schools.
Public schools, schools in general.
Right.
So the building, whether a Renaissance or a charter or a public, they had the worst. We were spending the money, but weren't getting the outcomes. We came together as a state legislature with the help of the governor and created something, a hybrid, a Renaissance school. So what have we seen?
You're Governor Christie at the time.
Governor Christie signed it. But it was to put together a new way of delivering education. Bring the educational experts to us and give us your proposals. So what you had here is the new Mastery School, the KIPP School, and Uncommon School, who've come together. They're public institutions that are helping those communities, that the children in that area have first right of refusal to go to that school. So graduation rates are up, suspensions are down. The test scores are up significantly. But the one piece that we put in here is after 5 years, we wanted you to go back and study what worked, what didn't, how can we make it better.
What's so interesting is you're talking about school-age children, grade school, but we're here talking about higher ed. We're talking about medical school, the future of medical education. We're talking about the connection between the time we have left, Congressman, the role that medical education plays in economic development.
Well, certainly. And, for somebody to make it to medical school, they have to have a good foundation, and that starts in the grade schools here in Camden. But when you look at any great medical institution around this country, down in Houston, if you've ever been to MD Anderson, you see grow around it an economic stimulus second to none. The most important thing is the research taking place, but it's bringing together that brain trust and those who want to help develop the area. And that's what you'll see here in Camden, is right around the corridor between here and Rutgers and Rowan, just a few blocks away.
You're bullish.
Absolutely. And more importantly, those who are looking at Camden are bullish also. That's why you see over $2 billion worth of work rising out of the ground. The Phoenix is literally rising here. The crime rate has dropped tremendously. In fact, the President of the United States came here to look to see how community policing was done.
President Obama.
Yes, but the most important thing, As I say, the best social program is a job. And giving an opportunity for everybody who calls Camden home to have a good job that pays the bills and they can take care of the family is a true win.
Congressman, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Welcome, this is Steve Adubato. We're in Camden, New Jersey. We're thrilled to be speaking with Dr. Annette Reboli, who is the Dean Professor of Medicine, Cooper Medical School of Rowan University here in Camden. Good to see you, Dean.
Hello, good morning.
Now, you are a product, I just want to say, of Newark, New Jersey, my hometown.
Yes, absolutely.
And speaking of cities, the city of Camden, it's got a bright future, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Because?
Because of everything that's happening here, the Eds and Meds, the educational institutions and the medical institutions being part of the transformation, all of the new companies that are coming in, the research initiatives, this is going to be the place to be.
Dean, talk about the partnership between Rowan and Rutgers University and the building we see behind us. That is, in fact, the Joint Health Sciences Center. What does it mean? Why does it matter?
Well, it matters on several levels. First of all, it's a collaboration between Rowan University and Rutgers. And collaboration is crucial to success in the current age and on a go-forward basis. Second, it will provide educational programming that will help our school, our students, the community.
How does it help Camden?
How does it help Camden?
Yeah.
Well, it helps Camden economically as an economic engine, but it also helps Camden in providing inspiration and opportunity for young people from Camden. We have students in our school who were born and raised in Camden, including 2 twin sisters who graduated this past year.
By the way, tell folks where we're taping right now and how it's connected to what you're talking about.
We're in our medical school building overlooking the rest of the city here, including the Joint Health Sciences campus.
That matters to young people and others in Camden when they see this.
Yes, it's absolutely inspirational. We have a number of programs that we developed even before we had medical students here on our campus. They're called pipeline programs. They're programs to encourage young people from this community to pursue careers in science and in medical school as well, to pursue things that they only dreamed were possible.
Dean, what is this? The CHAMPS, or CHAMP program, the Champions for Health Advancement Through Mentoring and Primary Care Partnerships. The CHAMP program, what is it?
So the CHAMP program is a recent grant that we received. It's part of a continuum.
From the federal government?
From the federal government, from HRSA. It's part of a continuum of programs to develop primary care activities and to enhance primary care, which of course is crucial to health of the citizens globally throughout the United States. So the program started with a program a few years back to develop residency programs in primary care.
Right.
The second part was to develop innovative educational programming, which we developed a 3-year track for medical students, and we have that currently operational with students in it. And the third part is to develop practitioners, including physicians' assistants, who are interested in primary care, where they actually do educational programming that enhances their position, leadership skills, how to transform healthcare, and then they do a project in their actual practice that will enhance quality, affordability, and access for the citizens of the community.
You know, Dean, one of the things that really strikes me is that we're going to be interviewing, while we're down here today, one of your medical students, I believe, Lakeisha. She is graduating in May of 19.
Yes.
But one of the things I read about her is that she's been actively involved in the city of Camden in mentoring programs and trying to understand. I think she wants to be OB-GYN. That's the area she's going into. I think to myself, the experiences she has had with the people of Camden, serving the people of Camden, mentoring young people in Camden, it impacts the kind of physician she will be. Am I making too much of that?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. We require all of our students to do what's called service learning. And what they do is they do a variety of programs, most of which they've developed themselves, so it's student-driven and supervised by faculty of the school. teach soccer to young people in Camden, help with the garden, a community garden, tutor young people.
Why does that matter in medical school?
So it matters because it allows the students to actually get out and see the community and learn about social determinants of health.
Yeah, that term gets used a lot, social determinants of health. What does that mean?
So what that means is the other things that all influence your health and how you avail yourself and access health care.
Poverty,
Poverty,
housing, transportation,
everything.
crime, etc. Those are social determinants of health?
Yes, all of those things have an impact on health of our communities. And it's crucial. So what the students learn when they go outside of the walls of the classrooms in this building will make them physicians of the future, will make them best able to serve. You know, we're preparing our students not for the practice of medicine that I have.
Right.
We're preparing them for the future practice of medicine, learning and working in teams, cultural competency, understanding barriers, working with diverse populations, people who look different and act different and have different customs than yourself. All of these best prepare the workforce to serve our patients.
And you got me thinking, because this is actually, this interview, the interviews we're doing here serve many purposes. One, we're doing a series on innovation in the state, but also on the future of healthcare in the state and nation. So what we're talking about is actually training, educating the physicians of tomorrow in a way that prepares them for the future, a very different healthcare model, delivery of healthcare, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Are you looking for different kinds of students because of that, or do you take them and you help shape them into the kind of physicians they need to be?
So a little bit of both, but we use our mission in the selection of our students. Last year, we had 7,000 applications for 104 spots.
Really?
So we look beyond just the metrics. Of course, we use the metrics, grades, standardized test scores. But
beyond that, what do you look for?
We look for students who have a deep and abiding commitment to their communities, to work within the community, who have had experiences in urban and rural environments, who have an interest in being patient advocates, advancing health care for their communities. So we look for a different type of student. And then when that student comes in, we work with them to graduate competent, confident, and compassionate young physicians.
But also, I'm a student of leadership. I write about a teacher. In fact, I've taught it at Rowan in the past. You're looking for leaders.
We're looking for leaders, and we're developing leadership skills in them, too. So as part of our ambulatory clinic, we have a leadership theme, and the students get formal leadership training. They get Lean Six Sigma training to help them address
That's great stuff.
healthcare problems. In fact, in the room next door, they're doing their Lean Six Sigma training. They're all getting yellow belts.
As we speak?
As we speak, all of our students get yellow belt training. And they tackle real problems in the hospital environment.
Because that's the kind of physician
Those
we're
are
going
the
to need in the
types of
future.
things, and also working in teams with other healthcare providers, not just being the solo practice physician. That day is gone forever.
Dean, we thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us and educating us and everyone watching right now. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, I'm Steve Adubato. Dean, thank you very much, and we'll catch you right after this.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Steve Adubato here. We're in Camden, and we're speaking to one of the best and brightest here at the medical school we're at. She is Lakeisha Mulugeta-Gordon, fourth-year student, Cooper Medical School of Rowan University. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I hear nothing but, I'm doing great. I hear nothing but good things about you. Tell folks, you're graduating in May of 19.
Yes.
Going into?
OBGYN. I eventually would like to be a gynecologic oncologist.
Because?
Well, I had this patient here that we have like a student-run clinic, and I met her in my clinic before I was on my Gyn-Onc week, which is the week where you spend.
You met this patient?
Yeah, I met this patient.
From Camden?
From Camden, yeah. And she ended up becoming my clinic patient, but then when she had her surgery, I was able to be in her surgery because I was on my gyn-onc week during my rotation. So I just really bonded with her, and she kind of is like the reason why I want to do gyn-onc.
She's the reason. What did you see in her? How did you experience that case, I hate calling it that influenced you and impacted you the way it clearly has?
Well, I'll try and make this like short and not too sciencey, but when she came to us, she came to our clinic because she didn't have insurance, but Cooper was doing the surgery pro bono, and she needed preoperative clearance, and we couldn't do that for her because she had these symptoms that were concerning that she wouldn't be able to handle the surgery. And when she came to us, it was a Thursday, and her surgery was the following Tuesday, so we really didn't have a lot of time to figure out what to do and how to help her. And so the following day, that Friday, I was able to go to like a cardiologist at Cooper and the Heart Station, which is a place in the hospital where they do like different, they have like different machines to look at the heart, and they were able to see her that day if she could come like right away and then be cleared for her surgery on Tuesday, which happened to be my week when I was on gynecologic oncology.
What did she want and need from someone like you?
She just needed an advocate. So she's the reason why I want to do what I'm doing. I thought I was going to be a pathologist for a very long time. I like pathology a lot.
Yeah.
But they don't really interact with patients as much, and so she's the reason kind of why I changed.
Sorry for interrupting. Let me ask you this. We've spoken to your dean. We've spoken to the president of Rowan, Dr. Hushman, and the chancellor here at Rutgers, Camden, the collaboration, if you will, between the two institutions of higher learning. You grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia, right? You know this city. Why is it so important for you and the great physician you're going to be moving forward when you graduate to make such a difference in a city like Camden?
Well, I think, so my dad works in the music industry actually, so I've spent a lot of time at BB&T like growing up. Well, before it was like the Tweeter Center, and then I think Susquehanna. Now it's BB&T. But I don't know, we used to always come to Camden, and it was always just like, you know, we're gonna drive quickly through Camden until we get to the Ben Franklin Bridge. Once I've been here for my 4th year now, I feel like everyone has this preconceived notion that Camden's really scary, and really I walk down the street and I don't think it's really any different from anywhere.
What do you feel
else.
in the city?
What do I feel here?
Yeah, when you're here, when you're walking down the streets, what do you feel?
I feel that some people feel isolated, and there have been times when people say to me, "Oh, you could say hi." And I'm like, "Okay," and then I say hi to them, and I feel that like it's a city where there's a huge need for us to be here, and I feel like we've really made a difference with us being here. I'm proud to be here.
Did you always know that you wanted to go into medicine as a kid?
Yeah.
Because?
So I'm the oldest of 4. It's kind of like not too graphic. But my youngest sibling, I'm 11 years older than him, and when my mom gave birth, I didn't leave the room. I stayed.
You were there.
I was there, in the back hiding. She didn't know, so I saw everything.
And
I was like, I thought it was, this is really cool.
Not traumatized.
Not traumatized.
You said what?
I was like, oh, I want to be a baby doctor.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
You did. Because?
I thought it was cool. I mean, at that time, I thought I was going to be a neonatologist, like sick babies. Not necessarily like the OB route.
Right.
But yeah, that's why.
It's so interesting when I think about Camden and other cities across this state and nation. Prenatal care is so important, right? Talk about it.
So, I don't know, like I said, I had seen my youngest sibling born, and when I thought I was going to be a neonatologist for a while, I'd shadowed in high school, and then even after my first year in college, I spent some time in the NICU at Temple, which I think is like a similar patient population to Camden.
Right in the heart of Philadelphia.
Yeah,
right.
In North Philadelphia. And there are all these studies out there that really kind of like how we grow up, and like the outcome of what happens in our life really starts when we're very young.
That whole discussion of social determinants
yeah, and like
of health.
nature versus
Dean was
nurture.
just talking about that.
Exactly.
That matters.
It really does, yeah.
And it's mattered for you, and you want to make a difference in others. So let me ask you this. We're doing a series on the future of healthcare and looking at the future of medical education. If you could describe what this experience in medical school has been and the keys to a successful medical school that prepares the physicians of tomorrow, what would be those keys?
I think, well, not like all schools, but I know at our school we really get to work in the clinic early on.
That matters?
I think it matters because I think it's like when we're in our third year clerkships, we don't feel awkward around patients. Like I felt comfortable advocating for my patient and going up to a fellow when I'm a third year med student and asking him, like someone that's had more training than I have, like more superior than I am in medicine, which is a hierarchy. I felt comfortable doing that.
You gotta break those walls down, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
You do, it's important. You know, with colleagues, with patients in the community. One thing I pick up from you is that beyond whatever clinical expertise you have, somehow you do this long enough, you pick up in someone that they have the heart, the compassion, the empathy to make a difference. And together with your clinical expertise and your training here, we're confident you can make a big difference, and we wish you nothing but the best.
I hope so.
All right. Thank you, Lakeisha.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by New Jersey Sharing Network, NJM Insurance Group, Choose New Jersey, MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey, the Turl Fund, supporting right from the start NJ, United Airlines, and by Adler Aphasia Center, transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
NJM Insurance Company has been serving New Jersey policyholders for more than 100 years. But just who are NJM's policyholders? They're the men and women who teach our children, the public sector employees who maintain our infrastructure, the workers who craft our manufactured goods, and New Jersey's next generation of leaders, the people who make our state a great place to call home. NJM, we've got New Jersey covered.